Hello, I am here to give you a small guide on Junior. Although I am a Div 10 player, I thought it would be nice to bring my knowledge given from games and from my team coaches to give a beginning rundown on the Splattershot Junior. If I missed anything or if you have feedback, feel free to tell me in the comments. I'll take all the knowledge I can get. But without further ado, let's get into it. So what is the Junior as a weapon? Well, to understand Junior in a competitive light, we need to understand weapon rules and Junior's capabilities as a weapon on its own before talking about what a Junior mainly does in the competitive scene. If you would like to skip the explanation on the weapon rules / Junior stats, go to the listed timestamp. Well, the Junior as of now has two variants, that being the regular Junior and the custom Junior. The only difference is the sub and special, but that changes how you play things, and we will discuss that later. The main things about Junior that stay the same are its main weapon stats and the larger ink tank. The weapon has a low damage output and not much range, which makes it hard to fight against other weapons since most if not all weapons deal more damage and have more range than the Junior. But to make up for that, Junior has a larger ink tank in comparison to every single weapon in the game, along with amazing painting capabilities. That, along with the weapon subs and specials that it has received, is what makes it a weapon to consider in competitive Splatoon, though I will warn you that most would recommend not to play it in favor for other weapons that are more meta. Weapon roles. Weapons can be put into many different roles such as Slayer, Skirmisher, Support, Backline, Midline, etc. But the important weapon role that we need to understand to get into Junior is the Support role. What support means to a weapon can vary from weapon to weapon, whether it revolves around painting the map, getting it special, or being around in general to support other players. The support that a Flingza provides is different in comparison to the support that the H3 provides. Playstyle of the Junior as a support is different from most other weapons because of its main stats. Now that we know these stats, we can dive into Junior's competitive playstyle. Junior plays into painting because, as we said previously, that Junior has a good paint output. Many people can easily call it a paint bot or a special spammer just because of this, but a Junior can do so much more. Junior is also able to support teammates through sticking with them to help them fight 2v1s instead of 1v1s. Because as good as it feels to win a 1v1, it's better off fighting a 2v1 so you can almost be certain that you will win a confrontation with the help of a teammate. Another important thing that's essential to any Junior variant you decide to play is your sub-weapons. Don't sleep on them, as they allow you to kill opponents from farther distances, and throwing them can help a teammate who's fighting. You can throw them to move enemies from their positions, and you can throw them to make sure that enemies keep themselves distant from you. Clearly, bombs are important to a Junior's playstyle, as its many functions can help you or your teammates. Junior is overall good for your comp if you're lacking paint, and if your front lines are all on their own all the time and they die because of it. Junior also plays really well into aggressive comps for the reason that it allows people to be aggressive knowing that they have someone at their side to help them win fights. Deciding which Junior. Still wondering which Junior would be the best for your comp? Consider modes first. If you're trying modes like zones, try out custom Junior, as Wavebreaker can keep people out of the zone. If you're playing modes like Clan Blitz and Tower Control, try out the regular Junior, as the bubbler can help protect your teammates at the basket or on the tower. I wouldn't recommend Junior for Rainmaker, though as good as Junior's sub-weapons are, both Wave Bubbler and Wavebreaker don't really work well for Rainmaker in general. So if you're looking for another weapon recommendation rather than Junior, I would recommend the NZAP 85. I will eventually make a tutorial on how to play NZAP 85 if this video is received well. Overall, the regular Junior plays more into using bombs in the main weapon, and Bubble is used more sparingly, while the custom Junior revolves more around its special, as Wavebreaker is useful to have at all times. Small Junior tips. When deciding which teammate to support, you should typically go for the more aggressive weapons / skirmisher weapons such as Wiper or Tetras. This is because these weapons tend to get into 1v1s more often, and turning these 1v1s into 2v2s is more useful. Make sure to roll your bombs on the ground. What I mean by this is that you should try to aim at the ground, but make sure your bomb is still able to move while on the ground. Why do this? Because bombs, once on the ground, explode faster rather than having it go in the air, waiting for it to touch the ground, and then exploding. Make sure you paint the essential areas. Don't just paint spawn while your teammates are rushing for the tower. Essential areas are basically areas where fights are going to happen, such as mid, or wherever the objective is, or where it will be going to. For example, if your enemies are going on the tower and the tower is moving towards your base, paint along the areas where the tower will be going so that your teammates will have an advantage while fighting in that area. Another great tip is to run Inksaber sub. The number one thing I will recommend to any junior to run on their kits is to run at least one main sub saber. You can run one or two more subs if you wish, but personally I would recommend running a main since it helps a lot, especially when you plan on throwing bombs more often. If you need a full junior kit and don't know what to run, I recommend checking out Sendu Inc. or asking people on a competitive server for advice on what to run on your junior gear. Thank you for listening in on my junior tutorial. I hope you got something out of this, whether it be how to play junior, or what gear to run on junior, or where you should go to get more help. Because not only can you go to Sendu Inc. to do a lot of things, but competitive Discord servers for Splatoon are honestly one of the best places to look for help and advice, where you can find teams, where you can find help, where you can find coaches, where you can find all of these things. It's just accessible through the Discord servers and through a community that is pretty welcoming to new players, especially through competitive and all that. So I wouldn't, now that I say it, it doesn't really sound like it would be welcoming all the time because all these teams are highly advanced, but you will find the team for you because free agent posts are out there and, yeah. And so thank you for listening in on my junior tips. I know this wasn't the longest video in the world, but I thank you anyways for getting those tips in or watching to make sure you know what you're doing. I will post more junior tips or reply in the comments with further tips if you guys are wondering anything I can answer in the comments. So thank you for everything.